Net 30 accounts are the most recommended thing in business credit and the most misunderstood. Every guide tells you to go open net 30 accounts. Almost none of them explain what a net 30 account actually is, what makes one worth your money, or why a large share of the ones being recommended will do absolutely nothing for you. So that is today. What net 30 really means, how these accounts actually work mechanically, which ones build your file, and which ones just take your money and give you nothing back. Let us define it properly first, because the definition itself causes confusion. Net 30 is a payment term. That is all it is. It means the invoice is due in full 30 days from the invoice date. It is not a credit product. It is not a loan. It is not a card. It is a supplier saying, take the goods now, pay me within 30 days. That is the entire meaning of the phrase. And once you understand that, you understand why so many people get burned. Net 30 describes when you pay. It says nothing whatsoever about whether anyone reports that you paid. This is worth sitting with for a second because it is the root of the problem. A business owner hears net 30 accounts build business credit. They go find companies offering net 30. They open accounts, buy things, pay early. 6 months later, their credit file is empty. Nothing was ever wrong with their behavior. They just made an assumption that was never true. Net 30 terms and credit reporting are two completely separate things that happen to appear in the same sentence in most advice. Now, why do suppliers offer net 30 at all? Because it removes friction from purchasing. A business that can order now and pay in 30 days orders more, orders faster, and does not have to route every purchase through a payment approval. It is a sales tool. For most suppliers, that is the entire motivation, and credit reporting never enters the picture. Which means when you evaluate a net 30 account, you are really evaluating two independent things. First, is this a legitimate supplier relationship where you will actually buy things you need? Second, do they furnish data to a business credit bureau? Both have to be true for the account to be worth opening as part of a credit strategy. Now let us talk about how these accounts actually work mechanically, because the details matter and most people go in blind. When you apply for a net 30 account, the supplier will typically ask for your business legal name, your EIN, your business address, your business phone, and often your DUNS number. Some ask for trade references, some ask for a business bank account. The depth of that application is itself informative, and I will come back to that. Once approved, you get a credit limit. Starting limits are usually modest, often quite small. You place an order, the supplier invoices you, you have 30 days, you pay. That cycle repeats, and with a good history, limits often increase over time. Here is where the mechanics start to matter for credit building specifically. Many suppliers have a minimum purchase threshold before an account gets reported. You cannot open the account, spend almost nothing, and expect a trade line. Some require a minimum dollar amount. Some require a certain number of completed transactions. Some require the account to be open a minimum period. Reporting frequency also varies, monthly, quarterly, or on an irregular internal schedule. So there is always lag between paying and appearing, and the high credit amount on the resulting trade line reflects the largest amount you have actually had extended. Two businesses can both have perfect payment history on the same supplier and produce very different looking trade lines because one bought meaningfully and one bought the cheapest qualifying item once. That last point is the difference between an account that helps you and an account that technically exists. Now let us talk about the ones that waste your time, because this is where money actually gets lost. Category 1. The supplier that simply does not report. This is the most common waste, and it is usually not malicious. It is a normal company offering normal terms that never established a furnishing relationship with any bureau. You will pay them perfectly, and your credit file will not change. The only cost is your time and the opportunity cost of not opening a reporting account instead. Category 2. The account you will never actually use. This one is subtler and it catches disciplined people. A business owner finds a supplier that genuinely reports, opens the account, and then realizes they sell products the business has no use for. So they buy something they do not need just to generate activity. Now they are spending real money on inventory that sits in a closet in order to manufacture a trade line. I want to be careful here because I understand the logic. But think about what you are actually doing. You are paying full retail for items you will never use repeatedly to produce a data point. If the goal is a reporting trade line, there are usually suppliers that report and also sell things your business genuinely needs. Start there. Buying junk to build credit is a strategy that works on paper and quietly drains cash in reality. Category 3. The subscription that never converts into a trade line. Some offerings charge a recurring membership or annual fee alongside the terms. There is nothing inherently wrong with that model. The problem is when you pay the fee for months without ever meeting whatever threshold triggers reporting. Now you have a recurring expense producing nothing. Before you sign up for anything with an ongoing fee, get clear on exactly what has to happen for a trade line to be created. If nobody can tell you plainly, that is your answer. Category 4. The one that reports to a bureau you have already covered. This one is not a scam at all, it is a strategy error. If you already have 4 accounts reporting to the same bureau and your other 2 bureau files are thin, opening a 5th account to the same bureau adds very little. You are deepening a file that is already established while leaving your gaps untouched. Coverage across all 3 bureaus beats depth at 1. Always check what you are missing before you add. Category 5. The account you open and then let go dormant. You open it, you use it twice, and then you stop. Depending on the supplier, the trade line may stop updating, may show no recent activity, or may eventually age off in terms of usefulness. Underwriters care about current active trade experience. An account that was active a year ago and dead since then is a much weaker signal than one that has been consistently used. So now let us flip it. What makes a net 30 account genuinely worth opening? First and most obviously, it reports and you know which bureau or bureaus it reports to, and that reporting fills a gap you actually have. Second, you will use it for real. The supplier sells something your business legitimately buys, so the account generates activity naturally without you manufacturing purchases. Third, the application process is substantive. When a supplier asks for your EIN, your entity details, your DUNS number, and trade references, that tells you they have a real credit process, which raises the probability they interact with the bureau system. A supplier that hands out terms with no application at all is far less likely to be furnishing anything. Fourth, there is room to grow. Starting limits are usually small, but a supplier who increases limits with good history gives you a rising high credit amount over time. And high credit is one of the things. Let us turn this into a plan you can actually run. Step 1. Before you open anything, know your gaps. Pull your files from all 3 bureaus and write down which accounts are reporting where. If you skip this, every decision after it is a guess. You need to know whether you are missing Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, Equifax Business, or more than one, because that determines what you should be looking for. Step 2, make a list of what your business actually buys. Office supplies, shipping materials, equipment, safety gear, print, packaging, whatever it is. This list is the filter you run every candidate supplier through. If a reporting supplier appears on this list, that is a strong candidate. If they do not, you are looking at manufactured purchases, and I would rather you keep looking. Step 3, verify reporting before you commit using the specific questions. Which business credits bureaus do you furnish data to? Is there a minimum purchase amount or number of transactions before an account is reported? How often do you submit data? Get answers in writing where you can. Step 4, open deliberately and space them out. There is no advantage to opening 5 accounts in a week. Reporting takes cycles regardless, and a dense cluster of applications reads poorly on your file. Step 5, use the account meaningfully and pay early, not on time early. Business credit scoring specifically rewards paying ahead of terms, and paying on day 30 of a 30-day term is the minimum acceptable behavior, not an achievement. If you are ordering anyway, order enough to produce a trade line worth showing. Step 6, verify the result. After a couple of full cycles, pull your reports and confirm the trade line appeared on which bureau and with what high credit amount. This is the feedback loop. Now you know. Something factual about that supplier instead of something you were told. Step 7, keep it active. Do not open accounts and abandon them. Recurring current activity is what underwriters want to see. An account you use consistently for 3 months and then dropped tells a weaker story than one you have used steadily all year, even if the payment history on both is perfect. Build a small rotation you can actually sustain rather than a large collection you cannot. And keep a simple record as you go. For each account, write down the date you opened it, which bureaus you were told it reports to, which bureaus it actually showed up on, the date it first appeared, and the high credit amount. That record becomes the most valuable business credit document you own because it is built entirely from confirmed results rather than claims. 6 months from now, when you are deciding where to put your next order, you will not be guessing. Now I want to close by putting net 30 accounts in their proper place, because I think they get oversold as the whole strategy. Net 30 vendor accounts are the entry layer of business credit. Their job is to create the first reporting trade lines so your file stops being empty, and to establish a payment pattern that higher tiers can look at when deciding whether to take a chance on you. They are the foundation of your credit history, not the destination. The mistake is treating net 30 accounts as the goal and collecting as many as possible. The goal is an established, multi-bureau file with real trade experience that gets you approved for the things that actually matter to your business. Net 30 accounts are how you start that. They are not the finish line, and none of it works if the layer underneath is incomplete. Every supplier we have talked about is going to verify your business information when you apply. If your entity, EIN, business bank account, business phone, business address, web presence, and bureau registrations are not all in place and consistent with each other, your applications get flagged and your reported data may not even attach to the right file. So before you open your next Net 30 account, verify your foundation is complete. Get the free 8-point Business Fundability Checklist and go through all 8 items. If something is missing, fix that first, because it will determine whether any of this vendor work actually lands. The link is in the description and on my channel page.